Excessive or unreasonable expenses. Section 40, capital A, subsection 2. Now what happens is that we all know that when you earn income, from that you reduce expenses to arrive at your taxable income. Right? So the more these expenses, the less will be the taxable income, and consequently the less will be the amount of tax that you have to pay to the government. Now I'm not saying all the people are unscrupulous, but in some cases people try to increase these expenses artificially, right? So they will try to make payments to their relatives or people who are not supposed to get these payments, but they try to book these expenses in such a manner so that their taxable income goes down. This section deals with these kinds of expenses where you are trying to make payments for expenses to some of the related parties. Okay? And the tax officer believes that whatever services you've taken, so let's say you have a relative who's a graduate and you pay him salaries of 500,000 a month. By any standard this amount is unreasonable, right? So for these kind of situations where you are making unreasonable payment vis-a-vis the services that you are getting, the tax officer has a discretion to disallow a part of this payment. So if he believes that the graduate should get only 50,000 a month, then he will disallow the balance, which is 4,50,000. This section is meant to cover cases like this where the assessee makes a claim which the assessing officer believes is unreasonable, okay, and he's making payments to some related enterprise or related concerns where he is in a position to exercise influence. Let us now see the section. Assessee incurs expenditure. Again, note this is only in respect of expenditure, not for capital payments, which is paid or payable to a specified person. Now this specified person will depend on what is the assessee. So if assessee is individual, the payments to relatives. If it is a company, payments to director or their relatives, or as the case may be. And having regard, AO considers that such expenditure is excessive or unreasonable having regard to fair market value of the goods, services or facilities for which the payment is made. Okay, so what is happening here is you are incurring an expenditure, you are making a payment to a specified person, right? And the AO believes that this expenditure is excessive, okay, or unreasonable. Like I told you, you pay 5 lakh to a graduate, a monthly salary, right? Having regard to, and he will consider what are the factors which the AO will consider. Fair market value of the goods. So if you purchase, let's say, a pencil for 5,000 rupees, right? So the fair market value of pencil will be 10, 15, not more than that, right? Services, the graduate services which we spoke about, or facilities for which the payment is made. So there's a comparison between, what are you receiving and what are you paying, right? So having made that comparison, if the AO believes that the payment is unreasonable or legitimate needs of the business. So you don't require the services of a chartered accountant, right? But someone hires a chartered accountant who is his relative and makes him a payment of XYZ. So a small business may not require them, right? Or benefit therefrom to the assessee. So whatever is the benefit that you get by making a expenditure or a payment to this person, if it is unreasonable, then what will the AO do? In such a case, expenditure considered excessive by the AO shall not be allowed as a deduction. Now please note, it is only the excessive expenditure. So if you are making a payment of 500,000, whereas 50,000 is what should be genuinely paid, then what is disallowed is only 4,50,000, which is 5 lakh minus 50,000, right? Just to repeat once again, there is an expenditure from the assessee. He makes a payment to a specified person. The AO, after considering these factors, believes that the payment is excessive. Then such excess will be disallowed. Now, what are the specified persons? So if you are an individual, if the taxpayer is an individual and he makes a payment to his relative, that is considered for the purpose of this section. If a company makes a payment to the director or their relatives, that is covered. If a firm makes a payment to the partner or their relatives, AOP to the member, HUF to the member or the family. So in each of these cases, these person, the specified person, are the ones who are covered. If you make to a payment to an independent third party, that is not covered. Now, any taxpayer, earlier what we saw in the last slide was that if you are an individual, what payments are disallowed if you make it to a specified person? Now, any taxpayer who makes a payment to any of these persons, okay, which are excessive or unreasonable, are disallowed. What I mean by this is, now we are looking at a situation where you can be an individual, you can be a firm, you can be a company, HUF, AOP, or anything else, right? When you make a payment to any of these people, right, the payer could be any one of the person that I spoke to, right, any of these categories, the recipient has to be covered within any of these, then even that is disallowed, right? Earlier we marked it from individual to his relatives or other person. Now we are marking it from all assessees, which is any taxpayer, to any of these people. To an individual having substantial interest in assessee's business or relative of such individual, right? So this will be a case, let's say there is an individual who has substantial interest in the business of an assessee, let's call him A. So if this assessee makes a payment to the individual or to his relative, that is going to be covered within the purview of this section, right? If it is excessive, it is disallowed. Then, to a company having substantial interest in the assessee's business, director of such company or their relatives. Again, if it's instead of individual, you have a company here, you make a payment to the director of the company. So A makes a payment to the company, to its director or a relative of such director, that is also covered. Case 3. Payments made by any taxpayer to HUF or AOP or firm having substantial interest in assessee's business. Okay, so let me just. So now this business is making a payment to a firm, HUF, or a BOI, body of individuals, right? Any payment to made to these people where these people have substantial interest in the business, right? Or to their members of HUF, let's say for example, partners refers to the firm, right? Or relative of such members or partners, right? Fourth, company whose director has substantial interest in assessee's business. So let's say assessee is this person. There is a director of company X, right? This director has a substantial interest in assessee's business. If this business makes a payment to a company in which this guy is a director, even that is covered, right? Or let's say this company has director 2. Payment by this company to this director is also covered. Or relative. Relative of whom? Director of such company or relative of such directors. So a relative of such director is also covered, right? Firm, HUF, AOP, one of whose member or partner has substantial interest in the business of the taxpayer, or payment to any other partner or member of such concern. Again, firm, HUF, BOI, right? There's a person X who has substantial interest in business, and X is either a partner in the firm or a member of a HUF or a BOI. Then payment made by the business to either of these three is also covered. Or payment to a person, another person, let's say Y, who is a partner in this one, a member of HUF or a member of BOI, that is also covered. Right? So you can draw your own decision trees for each one of these, which makes it easier for you to understand who all are covered. Now throughout I've been discussing this term substantial interest and also. What do you mean by this? A person can be anyone, is deemed to have a substantial interest if it has more than 20% equity capital of the company or is entitled to more than 20% of the profit of the concern. So let's say you have a person, okay, and we are dealing with two cases, company or a concern. Concern will cover your firms, right, AOP, HUF and all. If this person owns more than 20% equity, I'm talking about equity shares in the company, he is treated as having substantial interest in the company, right? Or he is entitled to more than 20% profits of the concern, then he is treated as having substantial interest in the concern, right? Once he has substantial interest in the concern, then all these provisions that we had discussed here need to be seen in the light of those. So the first thing we need to see is whether this first person, whether it's an individual or a company or an HUF, BOI or whatever it is, do they have substantial interest in assessee's business? If yes, then we see whether payment is made to any of those specified people, and that when that is true, then we see whether it is excessive or unreasonable, in which case it might be disallowed.